I'm here today with Frank Ferla, one of the world's leading authorities in Alzheimer's disease and a professor of neurobiology and behavior here at UC Irvine. Frank, you grew up in the Italian neighborhood of Philadelphia.
That's right.
A good childhood?
A very good childhood, very unique. I grew up in South Philadelphia.
So like most, if not all of the Italians I know, you fancy yourself to be a pretty good cook.
Yes, I tried to. I do my best.
So what would you say was your signature dish?
I guess stuffed artichokes. I also am good at making chicken marsala.
I often, when I'm interviewing incoming graduate students and postdocs, ask them, can they cook? Because I always feel like if you can cook, you can do science. It's the same thing. You mix ingredients, you follow a recipe.
Yes, except I found that as I've gotten a better cook, I deviate from the recipes a lot more and experiment and will season things according to my own taste. And I've become a little bit bolder than when I first started cooking. And probably the same thing's true about my scientific career.
Well, let's begin first by maybe tell people in one or two sentences what Alzheimer's disease is.
It's a very serious disease that affects people's memories and also leads to other behavioral changes. You know what it's like when your computer hard drive crashes. Imagine when your body's hard drive crashes, which is your brain. And it has devastating consequences not only for the individual, but also for their family members. And it's very painful to have a loved one who doesn't know who you are.
You've talked about a tidal wave of Alzheimer's about to hit this country, about to hit Orange County.
Right now, someone develops Alzheimer's disease every 70 seconds. Over the next 2 or 3 decades, someone will be developing the disease every 30 seconds. There are about 5.4 million Americans who are suffering from Alzheimer's disease, and that number is going to double over the next 20 to 30 years.
Alzheimer's disease is a disease that's characterized by widespread damage in the brain.
An Alzheimer's brain at the time of autopsy can weigh half as much as what a normal age and sex matched brain, and just shows you the amount of devastation that occurs as part of that disease process. I mean, can you imagine losing half of the mass and volume? I mean, that's pretty profound.
Describe the experiment.
We waited until the mice were pretty old. They were about 18 months of age, and by that point, they have very severe deficits in learning and memory and lots of pathology. And we implanted neural stem cells into both sides of the brain, and then...
And that's just an injection?
It was a pretty simple injection. We anesthetized the animals to make sure they don't feel any pain and that they don't move during the surgical procedures, and transplanted these cells onto both sides of the brain, waited a month, and then analyzed their behavioral performance. And when we test them cognitively, we found that the Alzheimer's mice that received the stem cells now performed as well as our normal animals.
What was the feeling in the lab that day when you looked at the data?
We were shocked. I mean, it was like, wow, this is an unbelievable result.
And opens up a number of enormous possibilities.
That's right. It became a transformative moment, I think, for our lab.
Moving forward, talk about where that research now goes.
Our ultimate goal, obviously, is to take discoveries that we make in the bench and bring them to the bedside. But that's a long process. And the studies that we have done so far have been good scientific studies. They've been to put mouse cells into a mouse brain. But to be able to have this be relevant for humans, we need to put human cells into the mouse brain and identify which are the best human cells to take forward into the clinic.
One of the things that has happened in this state is that the voters of California enacted this bond measure that would establish the California Institute of Regenerative Medicine, CIRM. What has it done for your own lab?
It's been transformative because it's now allowed us to develop a whole army of individuals who are studying the impact that stem cells may have on human diseases.
You've worked in this field now for many years. Are you hopeful about the direction of research?
I'm hopeful that our generation will be spared the impact of Alzheimer's disease. Our goal is to try to make everyone's memories last their entire lifetime. And having seen the devastation personally, it really motivates you to try to make a difference and try to find a way to prevent or treat or ultimately even cure the disease.
Thank you for all you do. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, and congratulations to you, and thank you for everything that you do as well.